Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Welcome back to the channel. I decided to film a video that nobody asked for this time. If you saw my work truck loadout video, you saw that I showed the Packout 10-inch tote that I keep in there with just full of hand tools. And I kind of explained that I just keep that in as like a little handyman kit. I can grab it and go if I'm at somebody's house. There's also some good tools in here for working on my vehicle. But I thought I'd just go through this thing 'cause it's so loaded. And you guys probably love seeing Milwaukee stuff. I know everybody loves seeing red. But let's go through, everything that I keep in here. Okay, so like I said, this is my kind of grab and go handyman kit that I keep in my truck. Is it necessary to keep all these tools in my truck? No, but I had them. And so what ends up happening is a lot of my leftover tools, things I've kind of, grown out of or decided I didn't really use them that much anymore, I threw in here if they would be handy. You're going to notice there is a lot of Milwaukee stuff because I started out with a lot of those hand tools and I've since transitioned to more premium models. So on the outside, I always like to keep a tape measure in my truck anyway. I've bought so many of these 2 packs of the magnetic tape measures. They're still one of my go-tos. So I keep the older models in here because it's just so handy. I have an ink saw on the side, 6-inch bit extension. I have the holstery hammer holder, which I actually use for my work most of the time. I'll keep some tools in there that are kind of an odd shape. I do have this pruning blade on the outside, the Diablo carbide pruning blade, and I'll explain why in a minute. On the other side, I keep some Milwaukee tinted safety glasses, and I keep my older model Bosch laser distance measurer, still really nice. Use it on a number of projects, and why not have it in here if you need to go estimate something or help somebody plan a project out. So let's get into we'll do the front pocket first, actually. In here, I actually just threw some little alligator clip for my leads for my multimeter, which is on the other side, on the inside of the bag. Then on the back pouch here, I have some of these nice Aries socket adapters. I like these. I haven't used them much, but they have the spending collar on there, and I figured that would be handy for just quick disassembly of things. I have a 3-inch extension. I have a 3-inch Milwaukee, Phillips number 2 extension with a Makita, the old style magnetic holder. And I have, I don't know if you've ever seen these, the Crescent Apex. These are the shielded Phillips bits. I have one that has a magnetic tip on there. I like using these for, disassembling things like doors where you don't want to be scratching everything up. So let's start on this side of the bag and get into some of the hand tools. Let's see. First, I have one of the pairs of my Milwaukee vice grips. Always keep vice grips in your vehicle no matter what, but also it would be handy for different projects. This is kind of an all-around bag. I don't have it set up for any specific trade, just tools that are handy for anything. Before I got my Knipex pliers wrench, I used to use a lot of the Irwin vice grip stuff. This one actually worked out pretty good. Nothing wrong with it. So I decided to throw it in here. You can cover a lot of different sizes of bolts between this and then over on this side. If I can get it out, it's stuck on something. I just have a small crescent wrench. I didn't really need it out in the garage, so I decided to throw it in here. All right, what's next? I have a pair of Doyle adjustable pliers. Don't really like these compared to the Cobras, so I figured this would be a good beater pair. I have a no name, I think this is like an 8-inch pair of bolt cutters. Handy to have, especially in a vehicle. I have a little 6-inch combination plier, almost kind of like a linesman plier, but it's kind of a handy size. I wish more companies would make these. This is just a cheap one I got from Lowe's. Doyle needle nose pliers. These are actually pretty decent. They have the cross hatching on the end there for the teeth and cutters, and they're nice and loose. It's not a bad buy if you're in Harbor Freight. I have an old channel lock pair of wire strippers. The reason I decided to put these in here is because it has crimpers. I have the Milwaukee folding saw. This is supposed to be like a jab saw. I have a Diablo metal blade in it. I also carry a 6-inch wood blade, and then that large pruning carbide blade I can run in my Milwaukee M12 hacksaw that I keep in my truck, or I could use it by hand like this. So it gives me a little, a few options. This would be good if you were doing plumbing, if you were just making some quick cuts, even for electrical stuff, or working on your vehicle if you need a hacksaw. This is the first multimeter I ever bought for myself. Still works great. Enjoy using it. But I've since upgraded to an automatic or an auto multimeter, and that's really handy. Kept it in there. A lot of red tools in this kit. Oh, one more. I just have a little mini pair of vice grips because I didn't know what to do with them. So they're in there. This is not a bag that you're going to be worried about lugging around all the time, so I don't really care about the weight. On the other side, we'll go through the screwdrivers first. This was the first set of demo drivers I ever bought, and I still use them. Anyway, this is the first set of demo drivers I ever bought, and I still use them, but I've gotten some better options since then. I do really like the number 2 Phillips because it has that kind of like diamond coating on there, and it really grips. Plus, you can pound it into a fastener and then turn it with a wrench. So I threw these in here. Use this one as a pry bar a lot, or as a chisel. For a multi-bit driver, this is one of the first Milwaukee ones I got. It's always upside down when I grab it. Not bad. It just has the magnetic retention. I do like that you can put the bits in your drill or your impact. Just have to be careful with them. They're not impact rated. This is a handy one because it has a little wire cutter there, and it has a little wire, what do you want to call it, like to make notches with it. It's got a good assortment of bits. Keep that in there. And I have the Milwaukee 11-in-1. I've had a couple pairs of these. I gave one to my son. This is one of the few ones that still has all the bits left. So that gives you a few nut drivers too. And then you probably saw this poking out of the bag. This is my Gen 2 M12 impact driver. I've gotten a lot of use out of this thing. It's actually pretty worn. I've dropped it so many times that the collet wiggles like crazy, so I just keep it in this bag. It's super handy to have a little impact driver in your bag, and that's still one of my go-to. I have the Gen 2 now that I keep inside. And then to go along with the impact driver, I have one of my older Shockwave kits. I've kind of pulled things out of this, but it still has the essentials. It has the magnetic nut setters and socket adapters and different things that I still keep in here. And let's see what's in the bottom of this. Milwaukee Fastback knife, the newer compact. Usually I can flip this out. Must be a little bit stuck. I have one of these in every kit. I think I have, have a longer extension. See, I have in here a 6-inch bit. This is a number 1 square, I think, or number 2 square. I had that. I was actually working on my truck with it, so it's in there. And the bottom of here, I just have some nitrile gloves. So, yeah, you can really pack a lot of tools in this little 10-inch tote. It's not my favorite design of theirs. Probably one of my least favorite bags. And so I keep it in my truck, and it just stays in there. I'm glad that they've updated all these bags, but, it still has slots for all your essential tools that you need, and you can really pack a lot in there. In addition to that, I have a case of drill bits. I have an M12 drill in my truck right now. I have the hacksaw, and you guys have seen the rest of the setup in my truck. It's full of tools. Is this overkill to you guys? Maybe. But these are all extra tools. These are kind of, like I said, there's nothing wrong with them, but I'm not just going to throw them in a junk drawer. I'd rather have them with me. They can kind of be sacrificial, or if somebody needs something and I have extras, I can just give it away if I need to. So yeah, this is the kind of stuff I keep in my truck. Let me know what you guys keep in there. I'd love to get some feedback from you guys. And we'll catch you on the next video.